Guys, we have answers. For those who don't know, Emmanuel Noisette, or E-Man's Reviews, interviewed the creators of From a couple days ago. They had an hour-long interview talking about theories, the show, where they're going, where we've been, timelines for next season, etc. And there's a lot to talk about in this. For starters, we have a confirmation that Season 4 will definitely air in 2026, at the latest mid-2026. Jeff Pinker said he believes that it could be as early as late 2025, but most likely early 2026, shooting for February. Now, doubling back to where we've been, they confirmed that the ending of Season 3 is the end of the beginning. Now shit's about to get real. And they also confirmed that they do have the ending planned. They do know where they're going, so do not be worried if you think that they're just making stuff up along the way. However, they did say that they have laid a lot of breadcrumbs out there that are mysterious little objects that they don't know what they're going to do with, but they left them to use later. And even though they don't know what they're going to use all of them for, they do plan to answer every question that we have. They did say that all of our questions will be answered. Not all of them will be answered directly, but some will be indirectly through the storytelling of the show. Now, on to a little bit more. Both of them were asked several questions about several different theories that have been brought up throughout the series, and were allowed to give their own thoughts on each one. One of the first questions that was asked to John was, what does the title From mean? And to tell everybody, it's kind of disheartening, but From means whatever it means to you. John confirmed that the title has no direct meaning. It means something to him, but he thinks that the title having a mysterious aspect adds more to the viewer than it does having an actual meaning. It means what you think it means. They also both clearly stated that they have a clear-cut road trip from start to finish as to where the story will be going, but they have several little stops along the way that they want to make. Depending on how many seasons they can get will determine how long the story takes. Time constraints and season constraints will really determine how far they get to play with the storylines. Now, before I get into the things that they actually did debunk, I do want to talk about a couple things that they said that I found interesting. While talking about the story as a whole and how the roadmap from start to finish was laid out, they said that the roadmap is the mythology. Whether or not it's a mythology that already exists or it's one that they are creating in and of the series or the universe itself, they didn't specify, but we do know that they are using their mythology as plot points for the series. Another thing that really kind of caught my ears was when Jeff was asked about the series and what he thought of From and the title and everything else and how the show was identified. He said that a lot of people call it a science fiction horror show. And he said, I guess you could consider it that, but I don't consider it that. And another thing that I found very interesting was that John or Jeff, I can't remember exactly who said this, but they said that the show was designed to create a modern-day fairy tale or a modern-day fable. Almost like someone's telling a story. Funny, huh? Now, let's talk about some of the things they debunked. So they have gone on record saying that Fromville is not purgatory, it is not a dream, and everyone is not all dead. So we can officially rule all three of those things out. Now, aside from those three things, Jeff Pinker 100% said, I will not elaborate further. But it is not purgatory, a dream, and they're not all dead. So that does not necessarily mean that it is real, but it's definitely not one of those three things. Now, on to what else they debunked. Sarah never had worms in her arms or in her blood like Boyd. A lot of people seem to think that because she had unalived the boy in her veins that she had worms, and apparently they confirmed she did not. Anyone who paid any bit of attention would have gotten this last one, but apparently some people still didn't believe it. Tabitha is not Victor's sister. Tabitha is Miranda, reincarnated. Another thing that they confirmed, the monsters can run. They choose not to. When Kenny said that what his thoughts were about how they just choose not to run, they confirmed that was the truth. When asked if the monsters eat the organs, they declined to answer. They simply said, stay tuned. Which to me indicates either they do or they don't, and they do something else with them. Now, the last bit of information that I find most interesting that they did not give us an answer on, but said stay tuned, was when they were placed in front of this screenshot and asked, is this indicative of this. Both of their jaws dropped open and they said, stay tuned. If that is the case, that debunks the Cthulhu theory, and this is what that is. All in all, it was a very, very good interview. I highly recommend anybody who's a fan of From go check it out. I'll tag Emmanuel's page down here for his TikTok, but you will have to go check out his other social media to watch the interview. It was very cool to get some confirmed answers and hear them give their thoughts on the show and what they plan to do and so forth and so on. Anyway, peace out.